Well, as I said before, it's a tough year ahead for the Albanese government. They're fighting battles on multiple fronts, the main one, of course, being cost of living. The PM is kind of standing by those stage 3 tax cuts I just talked about, due to come in on July 1 for Australians earning more than 45 grand. Here he was on radio this morning.
In terms of income tax relief, that is one way that can assist people because it does mean extra dollars in people's pockets.
But you can't exactly accuse the government of sticking to cost of living promises so far, can you?
Reducing power prices by $275.
By 2025, $275 a year.
$275 a year.
We'll get power prices down by $275 a year.
Still don't know where it is. Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor joins me now from Goulburn in New South Wales. Mr Taylor, the PM is now under pressure from within his own government to drop the stage 3 tax cuts. To do so would be to rob the average Australian of money that they could spend on their families.
And money that was promised to them. I mean, the tax increase that no one voted for is bracket creep, and we've seen a 27% increase in personal income taxes being paid by Australians since Labor came into power. This is giving some of that back. It's putting $70 billion back into the pockets of Australians, about $1,300 for an average wage earner. Middle Australia needs this, and it gives them the incentive to get out there, work hard, take risks, make investments, and we want that for not just those individual taxpayers. It's good for all of us that people are prepared to do this. So this is an incredibly important reform. It was promised by Labor and both sides of politics before the last election. We're holding Labor to account on it. You said that Albanese showed some commitment to it. I'd say it's pretty tepid at the moment. It's clear there's a lot of pressure on him. But we also know that the Treasurer has been asking the Treasury Secretary, the Treasury Department, for advice on alternatives. So there's no question that Labor would love to ditch this, but Middle Australia needs it. And it's Middle Australia who will stand up for every day. It's the majority of Australians who will benefit from this. And as I say, for the average wage earner, it's $1,300 a year, and it's $1,300 a year they really need.
Well, the language from the Prime Minister, I suppose you could call it equivocal at best so far. I mean, I'd showed a clip last week of him on the ABC where he was being asked by Michael Rowland about stage 3 tax cuts, and Rowland kept pressing him, will you re-promise to deliver those stage 3 tax cuts? And of course, the Prime Minister says, well, our position hasn't changed. Now, you can say the position hasn't changed, but that's not to say that the position won't change at a later time and date. Why can the Prime Minister not simply say the stage 3 tax cuts are coming in on July 1?
Exactly right. He needs to keep it very simple. He needs to unambiguously commit to the stage 3 tax cuts as promised and as legislated. That's what he needs to do, and he's refused to do that. And as I say, we know the Treasurer at the same time has been getting advice on alternatives. Look, Australians need this tax break, but Labor loves increasing taxes. They've seen a huge increase in taxes since they came to power. I mean, it's extraordinary that we've seen a 27% increase in personal income taxes being paid. Labor's spending it. Make no mistake about it. They're spending an extra $20,000 for every Australian household since they came to power. They love more tax, they love more spending, but we need to make sure there's more money in the pockets of hard-working Australians who are trying to get ahead, and that's exactly what these stage 3 tax cuts were focused on and need to deliver.
Really irks me when you see this sort of class warfare, as I mentioned earlier, coming back to the fore. I thought we'd gotten past all of this. I mean, this suggestion that, if you're going to have stage 3 tax cuts, you're giving a tax cut to the rich. Now, yes, it is true that there are people who earn a lot of money who will also get a tax cut through the process of this. But as I've said repeatedly, you've tried to say repeatedly, it's everyone who earns $45,000 or more who gets a tax cut. The vast majority of income tax that is paid in this country is paid by high income earners, to try and tell people who are battling to get by that by giving a tax cut to someone who has more money than them will in some way hinder them is a lie, but they keep running it.
Yeah, and the whole design of the stage 3 tax cuts was to say to Australians, hard-working Australians across middle Australia, that if you work hard and have a go, you're going to keep 70 cents in the dollar. It's as simple as that. There will be people on very high incomes who will pay more than that, but you can know with great confidence that you're going to keep 70 cents in the dollar. Now, that creates an incentive for people to go out and invest, to take risks, to work hard, and we all benefit from that. This is the point that Labor misses. When a small business person makes an investment and takes a risk in their business, earns more, has to pay more tax as a result, but earns more in the process, there'll be employees, there'll be customers, there'll be suppliers who all benefit from that. That's the whole point. That's how an economy works. And yet Labor simply doesn't understand it. Their idea of a good economy is a big government that taxes lots, that spends lots, and allocates money as they see fit. Well, that's not how I see it. I want as much money as possible in the pockets of hardworking Australians who are trying to get ahead. And there's no time where that's more important than now, when they're getting really smashed by rising mortgage payments, rising inflation and rising taxes.
Just very quickly, the federal court cleared the way today for Santos's $5.3 billion liquid natural gas project, the Barossa project. There was a stay put on the project last year by the federal court. There was a case brought by a traditional owner in the Tiwi Islands who said the pipeline would harm connection to the sea. That's now been cleared out of the way. I mean, we've got gas shortages on the East Coast. This is a good start, but we need a lot more than this, don't we?
We sure do. It is a good start and we're pleased to see it proceeding. The approvals of gas projects right across Australia have slowed down in the last 18 months. We need to see them accelerated, and we've made that very clear to the government. We expect them to be accelerated. We need more supply. That's how you get the price of something down. You get the supply up, and that means you've got to get approvals through.
Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor, thank you so much for your time.